Hello dear viewers, as you can see I'm out and about, and what I'm going to be doing is, as each new episode of this series of Doctor Who goes out, I'm just going to be giving a quick off-the-cuff review of each one and come back and do an in-depth review later, perhaps a year later like I did for Series 11. I found that very successful. So this is A Walk to Work with Whittaker. And so I'm talking about Spyfall Part One today, and what an excellent opening episode it was. I was really blown away, and as you all know, I enjoyed last series very much, but I did have my criticisms of it. And this opening episode straight away addresses most of those. We've got a greater focus on action, just going to cross the road, looking both ways. We have a greater focus on action. We have a greater focus on Yaz. She got a very impressive amount to do in this episode. In fact, the action was much better balanced among all four of the lead cast members here. The Whittaker Doctor showed a lot more steel, especially when she was dealing with Lenny Henry's character. And just generally there seemed to be more confidence and more of a definite emphasis on adventure, which I really enjoyed. It was a pleasure to see Stephen Fry, as it always is, and Sacha Dhawan, who I'll come back to later. Lenny Henry is an actor I have loved since I was a kid, and I've really enjoyed seeing him transition into more dramatic roles. So that was incredibly enjoyable for me. Re-establishing the cast went really well, and especially, addressing the fact that they are disappearing for weeks on end. That scene with Ryan playing the basketball game and, him finding more physical confidence in dealing with this dyspraxia without, having to resort to saying, not bad for a kid with dyspraxia, as we did a few times last season. I really enjoyed that. Yaz has kind of got a Clara thing going on in that her family and friends and colleagues are starting to ask, actually, hold on, what is going on with you? Because having to have all this time off doesn't really make sense. So that was good. Graham, in the scene with his doctor, we're reminded of the grief he's still going through. And then we have, the bit where they're all picked up. And we already knew that this was a spy-based episode, so we do have that emphasis there. I love the Doctor still repairing the TARDIS and working on it. Something I really enjoyed last series is when Jodie Whittaker would kind of do technical stuff, like in Demons of the Punjab and The Woman Who Fell to Earth. I don't know what it is, but I believe seeing her mucking about with electronics, you know what I mean? And it kind of explains why she doesn't just take the TARDIS, and, also that there's a bunch of spies wanting to pick them up. Chris Chibnall, look, I think his writing's improved based on this episode. However, there's still some on-the-nose dialogue, such as this car's being controlled by an external force. It's like, well, yeah, that was pretty obvious, thanks. But again, that was really exciting, and it was an opportunity for Jodie Whittaker's Doctor to take charge. Because a lot of people have said last season she could be very passive, and, that we needed to see her have a more definite role. And I think that really happens here, because, as soon as C is knocked off, the Doctor immediately takes charge of the situation, I should say, and delivers a plan, split up the team. So of course we've got the typical Doctor Who thing of splitting people up, but for a proper reason. It's not just a door comes down between the two of them. There is a good reason that the team has to split up in the way they do. The interview scene with Yaz and Ryan, we did see most of that as a preview scene, but it plays to the strengths of both characters, and I love how nervous Ryan is. Because Yaz has some espionage training, you would think, as a police officer, and so can adapt to that situation, whereas of course Ryan is very nervous about all this, and quite understandably so. And I love how he picks Logan because he wants to be kind of really tough, but suddenly realizes he looks nothing like Hugh Jackman. I had a real laugh at that line. If there's someone who perhaps doesn't get as much involvement in the plot as everyone else, it is Graham. Graham doesn't really have a storyline in this. He's just there kind of doing snarky lines. But I don't think there's anything wrong with that, to be perfectly frank with you. I think it's really enjoyable. I'm just going to pass some people, so I'm just going to be quiet for a moment so I don't scare anyone. But yeah, look, there's nothing wrong with that because Bradley Walsh is so good at delivering that kind of snark with the Doctor. The whole thing still looks amazing and epic, and it's just so heartening to see that what we had done so well last season, like the great cinematography, is still there, but we are improving on it. And I think that's something really essential that Doctor Who always has to do. It cannot rest on its laurels. It needs to improve and adapt. And I think this episode does that really well. And then we come to Sacha Dhawan. Look, I've always enjoyed him as an actor. First saw him, of course, in An Adventure in Space and Time, and I've seen him in a few other programs since then. He's really likeable and sympathetic as O. And, it gives us an idea of what it must be like for people who, believe in the Doctor and believe in all these aliens in a world where a lot of people don't. But then that twist. Okay. And if for some weird reason you are watching this before you've seen the episode, stop me now. Okay. Now that they're gone, O is the Master. And in just one scene, Sacha Dhawan totally spins around his performance from this meek, mild-mannered, likeable guy who was flirting with Yaz. That casino scene, snap, absolutely amazing. But totally flips it, and you are in no doubt that this man is murderous. And he will mess you up, and he will do bad things to you. We get an amazing cliffhanger. The Doctor can't stop the bomb. Everyone else is trapped on the plane. The Doctor is somewhere else, somewhere that Yaz went as well. Have we got the real Yaz back? Who knows? And yeah, it's Chibnall's first proper cliffhanger. We did have a cliffhanger last season between episodes 1 and 2, which was effective. But this is the first story-related cliffhanger, if you like. The cliffhanger comes out of the events of the story rather than just being some hook to get us to come back for a new story. And what I see as such a good thing is it has my brain firing on all cylinders. I want to know how long the Master's been there. I want to know how Ryan, Yaz and Graham get out of that situation. It's just really, really effectively done. And I do have my own theories. So, first of all, with the place wherever the Doctor is, wherever Yaz went, I think they've been shrunk down because those filaments and things look like hairs or fabric fibres, so I think that's what's happening. And as for how Ryan, Graham and Yaz are going to get out of that, I think the Master might rescue them because the Master has files on the Doctor, and Ryan, Graham and Yaz don't know much about the Doctor's past, but I think that's going to change. Yeah, look, I'm excited for this Sunday. This video will, the video for the next episode will come out a bit sooner related to the episode. But just before I finish up, I just want to say, everything you know is a lie. Well, not everything, one thing. I called this a walk to work with Whittaker, but it's Saturday. I'm not working. So I'm actually on my way to the gym. But, for Monday's episode, I will be walking to work, and the title, A Walk to Work with Whittaker, will make sense. But until then, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I would have liked to live stream this, but I don't have 1,000 subscribers yet, so it just has to be a basic upload. But hey, if I get 1,000 subscribers before the end of the series, we can start live streaming these. So, if you think you know someone who might enjoy my videos, please do share them. But until next time, thank you so much for watching.